live. Today I have the honor of interviewing Blessed Picasso, an incredibly talented MC from the Hampton Roads region. We're going to bring him in and talk to him about his new album, Rillest in the Room, his discography, the amazing featurings he's had, and future plans. Let's bring him in. My brother, thank you
Peace.
so much.
Already, yo, no problem, man.
Hey, I appreciate you. Listen, man, Rillest in the Room, what an incredible project. Talk about
Appreciate it.
album, when it comes to discography, banger after banger, right? Tell us the story of this album and putting it together, some of the major features that you have. Talk to us about it.
Let's see. Let's start it off with how it all came about, right? So, last year I was going through like a little rough patch in life and was like, yo, I need to do something new. I need to do something that's outside my ordinary. I usually stay within my group of people, my circle. So, I hooked up with my guy RML from Man Bites Dog, and we chopped it up about a couple of things, and it was like, yo, I want to do something big. You know what I mean? I want to do something that from people I respect too.
Yeah.
So it was like, I said, yo, let's do this. So we started politicking and coming up with, different things. And I was like, what about this person? What about that person? Like, I want to connect with them. So I was hitting people up. He would hit people up. And that's how we got the template for, the production and the features.
Yeah.
He would name somebody like, yo, what you think about Elzhi? I'm like, yo, I've always wanted to work with Elzhi. So let's see if we can politic that. So
incredible, by the way. I mean,
I appreciate that.
You know how you
appreciate
go
that.
through a dope album that's got like nothing but bangers, but then you're like, woo.
Yeah. That was the one. Like I've always I rocked with Elzhi, since I got introduced to him on the Slum Village joint. You know what I mean? So it was like, yo, this guy's nice. But so it was more so like I already had a previous, done previous work with Conway before. So that was a little, situation that was easier. Kool G Rap, I mean, that's my GOAT. You know what I mean? That's the guy right there.
The G's for God.
You know what I mean? So it was like, yo, this has to work. And he was like, you know how they tell you, like, don't meet your favorite people and all. Hey, it was a pleasure. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure. Like he's such a down to earth, cool guy. It was like, yo, I get it. You know what I mean? So he definitely deserves the cool in his name. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's like, it just I don't know, it sort of gelled together. Like everything just, from me hitting a bad spot to everything kind of just coming together easily.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, I can't even explain it. It's like it was really like a magical moment. Like it just happened. You know what I mean? And everybody, it wasn't a bunch of politics in between time. Like everybody really sent me back what I needed. And from there it was a beautiful thing. I can't even, I can't complain. I mean, I'm glad. My whole thing was what was the reception going to be? You know what I mean? Because it's like you as an artist, you create something and it's your baby and you put it out and you're like, yo, I hope people don't say my baby's ugly, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean?
You love the baby no matter what.
Love the baby no matter what. Like there's something about the baby, like, oh, the baby got pretty eyes though. It's something you're gonna say about the baby that makes people say that for you. So when it came out and it was just like, I was like, okay,
yeah,
I did good. You know what I mean? I did good.
It's an incredible album. You've had an amazing reception. I think all the merch is selling out.
Yeah, everything's moving. Like if I have pieces, like I might have one extra large, one medium, like everything's moving. The vinyl's gone.
Wow.
The cassettes are gone. The CDs, I might have like 15 CDs left. Wow. So it's like everything's moving. It's just been a beautiful thing, and I'm meeting a bunch of new people, from doing this album, and I mean, I can't lie. The reception's been beautiful, so
yeah.
I appreciate the love for real.
Yeah, it's dope. It's an incredible album. You could feel the love in the album. Can you share with us, like, during what window of time? When did you really start working on the album versus when it came out? What is the era of this album?
This album was truly completed. If we're condensing the time, a month.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because it took like it really took like it started. I say it started in maybe like March of
Yeah,
last year, like the talks,
yeah,
and it was done by August.
yeah,
But it was just like we're
yeah,
condensing the time down. Like it was like a little over a month. Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't bad
That,
though.
it's amazing. The
Appreciate it.
you know, the adversity that you were going through in your life, and we all go
Yeah,
through things, and the
yeah,
beautiful thing that artists, you know, the tool that they have is their craft, right?
right,
So if it's hip hop, if it's a painter, if it's an actor, if it's a comedian, they
yeah,
find a way to take that struggle and put it into their material.
right.
Is that, can we find some of what you were going through in your music?
Um, there's certain things on the first project I didn't really go too deep. And now the second one, yes. The second one comes out in August. That one I really get into it. It was fresh, so I really didn't want to attack it the wrong way
Yeah,
of what was going on. But the first one was past stuff. Like, okay, the
yeah,
intro. The intro is one of my guys that's no longer here.
ooh,
And I wanted to put him on the album
yeah,
because when he passed, like it cracked me. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I cried. It hurt my feelings because we did music together. We're ice water. So I wanted to. I knew. I said, yo, this album might be something, and I want to put him at the beginning so he can shine
that's beautiful.
forever. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
memorialized now through
Right.
this album.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So I just wanted people to hear him like I heard him, and I want people, to at least be able to see the little bit of love I have for him.
yeah,
Well, for them to see the little bit of love. I had a lot of love for him, but I want them to at least be able to grasp a little bit of how I felt, feel
yeah,
about him. So, going into the songs though, like even on the actual first song, when I'm talking about I miss Van and spending those nights on Carrington. That was my cousin,
yeah,
and he passed, and it one of those situations where like it messed me
yeah,
up to the point where it's like, yo, like you're crying again, and you got to figure
yeah,
out, it's just moving past it. You know what I'm saying? But keeping the memory alive. So once again, I'm like, yo, this album could be something. I want people to hear his name. I say it all the time, but I really
yeah,
want people to understand who he's important to me.
yeah,
So, um, everything, and this album though, like it goes back and forth through personal stuff, but
yeah,
not like I would say this next one. This next one is really, I really, I go into, like life and death situations,
wow,
you know, life and death situations,
yeah,
like, just things that, I mean, I tell people, I've told certain people, and I'll tell you, but since I was like, I say about 14, 15,
yeah,
like it's just been random attempts on my life, right?
yeah,
So it's like that part of life doesn't bother me. Like, some people be like, yo, are you scared to die?
yeah,
No, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I have Crohn's disease. So I know at any point in time, something could go wrong. I've almost died before from it.
wow,
So I'm not, that part doesn't bother me. I just always wanted to leave behind a musical
yeah,
legacy that could be respected. That's
yeah,
the biggest part. So,
yeah. Wow, thank you for sharing that. I had a
no problem.
friend that had Crohn's disease, and I didn't
Mm,
know what it was till I met him. You know,
mm,
and I found out how serious it was, and he had gone through a situation also where it's almost like like you have an episode or something.
yeah,
Like he had like a really bad one,
yeah,
and you know it could be a long period of time where you're healthy, and then it
right.
happens,
Yeah,
and it could be life or death level dangerous. And he
yeah,
had gone through that and recovered. The medicines were all funny, and you know he had, but it gave him. I will say this, you know, he had a passion for life because he
mm,
understood something about the fragility of life that, you know, tomorrow's not guaranteed, right?
right,
For me, for nobody,
right.
separate from if you have some underlying disease or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
It's not, I mean, literally, like, you should see how they drive out here in LA, my bro. You think the DMV is bad? It's wild out here, you know. So it's not guaranteed for anybody. And he had
Right.
this friend of mine who had Crohn's disease, had a passion for life, and you know, trying to accomplish what he had set for himself and what he had given himself as his life mission. He went about it in a way like there was like a clock on him.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I get
do you
it.
feel any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I was like, I want to get this workout as soon as possible, because you're not promised tomorrow. I say that all the time. Like, you're not promised tomorrow, and hearing your friend's story is pretty much mirrored. You know, like, I had went to, like, I really was on the verge of death. Let's say, like, just like 2004. Like, I had, you're supposed to have like 12% blood in your body. I had like 4%. So I was like hallucinating and stuff. Like, it got crazy. So I went to the hospital. They got me back together, and since then it's been try this medicine,
Yeah.
and I finally got something that's actually leveled me out to a point where I'm able. Anytime I've really been able to take off with music and have something moving, I get sick.
Wow.
So this time I've been able to keep myself level, where everything is just boom, 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 and it's not a fight, but it's like, I don't know when that could change.
Yeah.
So let's keep working. Let's not get complacent
Yeah.
and be like, okay, well, we got this out now. No, let's keep churning it out, because now that I've grabbed some more attention from
Yeah.
people, I need to get more attention from people,
Yeah.
and more. I need to keep their attention, because there's always somebody, you know, trying to elbow you out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And lying.
So yeah, so I figured, you know, I've always felt like it's a race against time,
Yeah.
you know. So, but I've learned to I've had songs in the past I've made about Crohn's where I've learned to love
Yeah.
it, because it does put the pressure on me to get things done, you know.
Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
hence the title. That's the title of the with the real, because I'm ill, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually ill. So just put the R, realist in the room, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
that's good.
yeah, yeah.
It's dope, man. Thank you for
Appreciate it.
sharing that.
Appreciate
I was wondering. I was like, that's some inner. He's got some slang. He's got. That
Yeah.
explains it.
Yeah.
You ever see the chess masters? They put a clock on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You gotta put a clock on it. You put a clock
Put
on
a
it.
clock
Now we're gonna see like
on it.
tracks who thrives.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's exactly what it's like. It's like, okay, make your move. Okay, make your move. It's one of those type of things. Like, everything has to be precise in it, and sometimes, because I'm so meticulous in everything, and like, sometimes I'll try, it'll be projects that might be Dr. Dre, it might be the Detox, it'll never come out, because I'll sit here and mix and mix and mix and trying to get the song how I want it.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to relax and not do that so much, because everything doesn't have to be super polished.
Yeah.
You know, the people will still get the message, and sometimes the dirt makes it the best. I mean, like, people love 36 Chambers. That album is dirty.
Yeah.
It's a dirty album.
Yeah.
You
When
know?
you go back and listen to old Woo, once you spend some time in the studio and you understand,
Yes.
and you go back and listen, you're like, yeah, they were rapping with a sock over
Right.
They didn't have no pop stopper. It was a sock
No.
over a screen. And
Yeah.
SM58 Sure Mike. It wasn't like some,
Right.
Right? 8 tracks.
8 tracks.
Yeah.
8 tracks. And made it happen, and made a timeless classic that can be performed until the end of time. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you have to stop putting that amount of pressure on yourself, so you're able to, turn more work out.
Yeah.
And quality work too. Like, I'm not about dropping quantity over quality.
Yep.
So I don't, because I know a lot of people are like, oh man, okay, so you drop it again. Well, how's this going? No. Like, this is another dope body of work.
Yeah.
Personally, I like it better than the first one. You know what I'm saying? Because
the first one
I'm
had such an incredible reception.
right, exactly. So I'm hoping this one does too, because once again, like I said, there's certain times where I really go deep into certain things. Like the first song, the first actual song on the album is produced by my man Scary Hour,
Yeah.
and it's called 5 minutes till 3 a.m.
Wow.
And I'm really breaking down, you know, like how I did, like I can't stress myself. I can't stress myself out. I don't want to die like my mother did, you know. But there's been times where I'm like, if I'm here, it doesn't even matter, you know. Like we
Yeah.
get that deep starting off the album, so I'm already letting you know where
Right
we're
out the
going
gate, out the
out the
gate.
gate.
Put the
But it
seatbelt on.
doesn't get, but it doesn't turn into like it doesn't turn into an Otis Redding situation, because I know, if you listen to Otis Redding, like all his songs was sad. Like the whole album isn't sad, but it's pockets where when I was writing those songs, I was in that feeling.
Yeah.
So it's like let me share let me share myself with people so they can get to know me just a little more, unless you're just talking to me. Then you're like, oh man, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, let me put it in song form, because there's people who can relate to that
Yeah.
too. And for the longest time, I would fight against it, because sometimes I like to listen to my music too.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take myself back to that situation
Yeah.
and get that emotion, and then my rest of my days messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You had to balance it out. The
had to
so the
balance it out.
got a new album dropping in
Right.
August. You have an album that's done exceptionally well this year, had an amazing reception. It's an
Yes.
incredible album with great featurings. You got
Thank you.
Kool
Thank
G
you.
Rap on there. You got Elzhi. You got Big Twins, right? You
Yes.
got TF. You got a
TF.
lot of artists. I'm missing people. Now, when did Rillest in the Room come out?
April 19th.
So,
April 19th this year. That's my mom's birthday. I had to
oh,
drop it on her birthday.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really good, man. Now, is there a release date for the August project?
Yes, August 23rd.
Got it. You
And that's
taking
a
over the summer. It's a summer album. You got
yeah.
spring, summer.
Yeah. It's and that's a few days before my birthday. I'm August 27th. So I was like, yo, I want to drop everything, drop joints on birthdays. It's like a celebratory situation, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
You could wrap parties into
Ex-
release dates. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, listen,
Exactly.
we're
That's the
having my
plan.
birthday and my
Yeah.
album. You better be there.
Yes. Yes,
You better
exactly.
buy out the
Exactly.
bar.
Right, exactly.
That's dope. No,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Does the new album, the August album that's
Yes.
coming out, which you've stated, you're looking forward to this album because in some ways you're more psyched about this one than the one that just made all the noise. So you're like,
Right.
just wait, y'all. This one's got me in it, a little piece of me in it, my story, some things that are very vulnerable,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Does the new album have a title yet?
It's Realist in the Room Part 2. We're following that. We're gonna do three of those. The next one that we have Realist 3, but I might not drop that one until next year. I have
Yeah,
another project I want to drop around Halloween, because if you can see in the background, Halloween is like my favorite time of
yeah,
year. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So I do have a project that I want to drop around Halloween that's a little bit more that I've had done,
yeah,
and I love the project, but I started working on the Realist kind of to give this one a bump and people understanding what's to come. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
yeah,
like, yeah, I did certain things with people I respected, just to kind of bring more light over here to like, yeah, I'm nice too. You know what I mean? So now that you see that, yo, come over here and listen to what we got. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about, when you think about spitters, a lot of time people don't think about Virginia, like
yeah.
my area at least, Hampton Roads, Portsmouth, like people don't think about this
Now,
area.
people
So
who know about music know about Hampton Roads,
yes,
right? But it always
yes,
goes to like people. What happens is, the same thing happens in DC, right? Everybody either goes to New York or LA,
right,
right? Once they reach like a certain level, they wind up like moving around often. That's the thing
yeah,
that happens often,
yeah.
right? But I know about Hampton Roads. I know
Okay,
about
okay, good,
Tidewater
good.
area and all
Okay,
that.
okay,
Yeah,
all right,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so but yeah, so it's I have the title. It's the Realest of the Room. I already the cover art's done. I'll be putting that out soon. Um, the I can go. You want to know the features?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
you want to know some people?
Let's talk about it for sure.
Okay, okay.
But whatever,
All right.
and this is one of the things that, like, obviously, I love hip hop. the people who watch this show love hip hop. People are going
Yeah.
to see your name, people who are fans of you, right? So in that sense, I love to share as much as possible, but I also
Yeah.
respect the artist, the craft, and how they want to roll out their projects. You
Oh
know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
whatever you're comfortable with, let's
Oh
talk about
nah. Nah, man, we good, man, because it's like, it's not, you don't hear it. It's just the anticipation for what's to
it.
come. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like, but yeah. So, but it's a the lineup as far as I said would say production. I got another joint from Crisis.
Woo.
Um, yeah. Uh, Me and
Wow.
Ito produced a couple of joints. And J.R. Swift.
Yeah.
J.R. Swift. We got some work in,
He
and
makes nothing but bangers.
hey.
He makes
Hey, when I
bangers
tell you,
live on
yeah,
IG. He just makes them.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like we got some work, and like as far as and then my guy Scary Hour, Zap, they helped Castro Beats, another guy from the city, gave me some man,
Yeah.
features Tragedy Gaddafi, yeah, Tragedy Gaddafi, Stove God Cooks, um,
Whoa.
yeah, and my couple local guys, you know what I'm saying? My man Lunatic, Pure,
Yeah.
you know,
Pure dope.
Pure, yeah, that's my guy right there. That's my guy. So I think that rounds out everybody. Ito has a feature too. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Other than
dope.
production, he does a feature
He did
too.
a
So
Pete
yeah,
Rock.
that's
He was like, let me get on the
yeah,
mic.
yeah. Let me get a joint. Yeah, let me
That's
get a
dope.
joint. Right. Yeah, so that's the lineup,
Wow.
and in between time, like that's what kind of breaks some of the monotony. Well, not even monotony, but that's what kind of breaks the album from just being, um, I guess, pulling the heartstrings at certain times,
Yeah.
because and it flows beautifully. Like you won't even notice if I didn't tell you. You'd just be like, yo, this is crazy. But me telling you, and it's not like beating down the situation,
Yeah.
um like oh man this happened, oh man this happened, oh man this happened. It's just tidbits, and then we get back into other things,
Yeah.
because that's how I write, how my mind works. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I will be thinking about something and then think about something else, then think about something else.
Yeah.
Like I bounce from idea to idea, so a lot of times when I'm writing, another idea will come in from something else, and it just gels together, so but I really can't wait for people to hear that one. I'm getting ready to I'm heading to the mastering stages of it, getting the little tweaks and stuff done, then it's going off to the plant that had the vinyl pressed, and so from there, I just can't wait for August to come around for it.
Oh man, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I wanted to ask you, you shared a little bit right now, but I wanted to ask you about your creative process.
Yeah.
How do you work? How do you put songs together? How do you put albums together? What's that look like for you?
Oh man, I don't even know how to. It's strange because I don't have like I haven't really sat down and was like, yo, here's a formula. Like
Yeah.
everything kind of just happens,
Yeah.
and like I know when it's right, and I know when it's not right. Like I don't sit down, and sometimes maybe I should sit down, and come up with a format, but I'll come up with a title for an album,
Yeah.
um either first or last. Like it just depends. Like I'll listen to the music and be like, this feels like this,
Yeah.
or this feels like this. Like the Realest in the Room is the first time I had a title off top. Like that was the first time. um Song titles, they just come to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A song title come to me. And so like when me and Westside Gunn did Teddy Bruckshot,
Yeah.
like we were sitting, we shot the video and didn't have a
It didn't
title
have a
yet.
title yet.
We didn't have a title. So we were sitting in my truck, and I'm like, yo, what are we naming the song? And he was like, man, let's name it Teddy Bruckshot. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, cool, that works.
Super
So
organic.
right, right. So it was so sometimes things just they they make sense at the time, and then sometimes just later on something will come to me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, let's put this together. And like I said, it's so organic that I really couldn't explain how things happen.
Yeah.
Like Even with like with perfect another song, I had the soul prescriptions,
Yeah,
right?
I love that
So
track. That
so
beat,
thank you.
that I love that '60s soul, that '60s funk.
Yes, yes,
That's my
yes,
jam.
exactly. Shout
If
out to
I'm not listening to hip hop, that's what I'm playing.
absolutely. I got some records back here, man. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I can see
Just
the
that
collection.
feel. Yeah, indeed. So I got so I had the song at first was titled No Evidence
Mm.
because evidence made the beat, right?
Uh,
So and what we were talking about. So it was like no evidence. And he was like, yo, um I got a joint already I'm featured on. It's called, Leave No Evidence or something like that. And I was like, oh man. I said, well, look, man, you come up with a name then.
yeah,
He was like, all right, soul prescriptions. Okay, cool. Boom. There we go. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's not like I hear something cool that works. I'm one of those people that's really easy to work
yeah,
with, but I'm hard to work with, like when it comes to production, like
yeah,
beats. Cause I make beats too. I've made beats forever. So hearing I know what I want to hear.
yeah,
I know what I want to get out of somebody, and if people are really down to work, they don't take it personal. But I'm like, nah, not that one. Nah,
yeah.
not that one. Nah, not that one. Because I'm trying to make the best thing for both
You're
of us. You know
curating.
what I'm
You're
saying?
curating your album.
Yes, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. What up, Biggs? What up, bro?
That's dope.
Yeah, man, that's my guy.
That's what's up. What's up,
But
Biggs? That's dope. I wanted to ask you, man. We talked about it a little bit. The Hampton Roads area, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, that whole area has had so much talent come out of it. For a place where it doesn't have the population of a Los Angeles or New York City, right? A lot of people, if you're not in the Virginia, DMV area, may not even know about all the talent that's come out of there. People like Timberland, Missy Elliott, the Neptunes, Teddy
right,
Riley, and I'm just naming some of them. I mean, Knots, like it goes on, right?
right.
And Bless Picasso, you know what I'm saying? The list is incredible. What do you think it is about that area that has become such kind of like an incubator for talent? Is there something going on over there that maybe the rest of the United States can learn, the rest of the world can learn? Because so
Hmm.
much talent has come out of there.
Oh, I think the thing at the time when you're naming those artists,
Yeah,
it was so organic how
yeah,
they made their music. It didn't sound like anything else.
that's
Like
true.
Timberland didn't sound like the Neptunes.
That's right.
They're hanging around. You got to understand these people are around each other.
Wow.
So to be around somebody and not have their style rub off on
Yeah,
you at that time was beautiful. But the thing that was crazy about it is that if you have like what makes it like a lot of times when people have came here to Virginia to look for artists, the thing that executives have said is that you people don't like to leave Virginia.
uh, oh,
you know so it
yeah,
makes it harder for so once that gets said enough, people just wash their hands of an area. And it doesn't help when they say certain people from that area who have made it don't reach back down and pull people up, like Atlanta will do,
yeah.
Cali will do, Florida, like it's certain places that pull people in.
They,
Virginia's
they
sort of
put
like
them.
I
They
got
put people on.
yes.
Right.
They don't here. It's really not that. It's like, hey man, I made it on my own, you got to make it on your own.
Yeah,
So, but as far as the talent goes, I just think because it's such a melting pot
yeah.
of everything, like people come from all over the United States
Hmm.
and settle here, and it's like a gumbo pot.
Yeah.
And once you hear the music, it's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and it just ends up being something that everybody can embrace
Oh, that's good.
from all walks of life, and I think if given a real ear, I think Virginia could become one of those. At least this area could become one of those areas where you could find a lot
Yeah.
of dope music. It's a lot of dope
Oh, yeah.
music out here,
Yeah.
but it's just because we kind of got stuck with that stigma in the early
Yep.
2000s, you know, where people will be like, hey, you know, these guys, you know, they're nice, but you can't get them to, you know, and it's not even a fault to them because
Yeah,
I know guys, my city is less than 100,000 people.
yeah,
Okay, 97,000 people, like 47 square miles, give or take,
yep,
and there's people who have never left the city.
yeah. And have
Okay,
no plans to leave. Don't need to leave. Don't want to leave.
don't want to leave. It's so I can't. So what people are saying is true, but the ones of us who do leave, if anybody follows me, they see I'm never here. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm always moving, doing something. So it's like
Yeah,
you know, it's just. But I think, but at the end of the day, really, I think if given like a real ear or a real somebody to really just put on and be like, yo, this is Virginia for real, and these are the da 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 da. I really
yeah,
think it could open the doors up for a lot of
yeah,
people, for real, for real.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
dope, man.
in the
That's dope.
future.
Well, you're definitely opening doors. You keep making those bangers. You're gonna keep opening doors. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
that's what I'm trying to do. That's the
Yeah,
plan. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, that's the
That's
plan.
dope.
So
So just
yeah.
recently, you were at some festival that I had never heard of. It was like a Fright Fest, right? And you were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about your passion for
yeah,
horror. Can you talk to
yeah.
us about that? Like, well, what is that Fright Fest thing, and some of like your passion for horror movies and all of that?
Well, I blame my mother for this, right? So when I was a kid, like all the horror movies, my cousin, once again, my cousin Van used to always be like, hey, you want to go see this? Want to go see this? He knew I couldn't see it because my mother was like, nah, you're not going to go see these movies and then have nightmares. I'm like, I'm not going to have, you don't know I'm going to have
Yeah,
nightmares if I haven't seen
yeah,
it yet. Like, let me go see it. So I would always get shut down the minute she was like, yo, when you're 12, you can go see all the horror movies you
wow.
want. So 12 hit and it's just been on ever since. I've
That's it. It's
always
been on.
yeah, it's been on. And like we grew up in the house I grew up in for like about 10 years. Like the our house was actually haunted, right?
Are you
Like it was
serious?
actually haunted.
Like,
I'm
like,
not playing.
like things happen.
Paranormal activity. You would be sitting somewhere and something that is sitting flat would just fall over. Nothing shook, nothing this, and you never felt. You know how like when you're not alone, how you don't feel
Yeah,
alone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would be alone in that house, and you would still feel something in the house.
Wow.
You know, and so it was like one of those things where so it's always intrigued me, you know. So then like all the horror movies and stuff like that, I would get into that, and then about 10 years ago, I found out I was on YouTube and I had saw that festival, the Texas Frightmare, and I was like, oh man, like they got everybody who's anybody at these places. Like I want to go here and you know and
Meet
really meet these
actors and meet
people.
people from
Yeah,
classic
yeah,
movies and
right. Get the vibe of you know see what they're on because it's like you know hip hop and horror
yeah,
you know hand in hand now the horrorcore to the you know the blah blah blah
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like you know
From
you
the
listen to
from the
certain
from the RZA
from
and horrorcore to
Ghetto
now,
Boys,
Ghetto
you know what I'm
Boys.
saying?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's like all this music. I'm like, yo, you know, this. I want to be around these people and just, you know, catch the vibe. It is always love. There's like so much love when you go there, um, and you know, you find all types of little cool trinkets and whatnot to bring home.
yeah,
So, but yeah, it's it's a lifelong passion. Like we've been talking about, you know, trying to shoot a horror movie locally. You
yeah,
know what I mean? To put something together that would be you know, really dope because we have a lot of horror history. Like our city, this city, Portsmouth is haunted for real. Like it's a lot of
stuff.
nonsense that goes on in the city. Like for real. Like
Wow.
you know, around Halloween time, we have a downtown like a walkthrough where they take you through all the you know
Like
cobblestone
a
and
ghost walk.
ghost walk. It's
Yeah,
a ghost walk through the cemeteries, and they tell you about this house and that house. There was a house that used to be on Virginia Ave in Port Norfolk, and that house is like you can look it up. It was haunted by a poltergeist that was like terrorizing his family for like mad years. Like it was, but they tore the house down. Like
yeah,
that's how
yeah,
bad it
yeah.
got. They had to tear the house down. Yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
You mentioned that you lived in a house for a period of
yeah,
time that had some sort of paranormal activity.
yeah.
What's maybe the one or two kind of things that like stood out the most that you experienced in that house?
Mm, I would have to say the main thing is stuff just falling over.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's mentioned, okay, like one time one of my mom's friends had said something, excuse me, about the house being haunted,
Yeah.
and was like, "You live in this house with all these damn ghosts," and
And
stuff with doom, doom,
they
doom.
didn't like that.
No, because at the end of the day, the spirits that were in that house were mad calm. They weren't on anything
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying, like sinister. It was really
Right.
just
We don't
spirits.
know. There's a layer of reality we don't know. They're in that layer.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're doing them,
Exactly.
and you're doing you.
Right. And it was never a problem. Like it was never, like when you watch like the movies like Paranormal Activity, it was nothing crazy like that. Nothing demonic. It was just that you always felt something there. And it's like,
Wow.
but that was the one time that I actually, you know, saw them actually not feeling what somebody else said. Like, hold on,
Yeah.
we're not causing no problems. What you
Yeah,
talking
we
about us
good.
for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Oh, that's cool. I'm such a I love records, I love CDs, I love movies. I love me some DVDs and Blu-rays. I like having physical media.
yeah,
At that festival, are they selling like a lot of
everything,
physical
everything.
media?
Yes, yes. A lot of they had to give they give you if you're a VIP, which I always do VIP. They give you like a swag bag and it's full of like all these movies from from newer movies to
Yeah.
independent movies, which is
Yeah,
good
yeah.
because it gives people the chance who you might regularly not buy their
Yeah.
joint for you to actually get it and be like, oh, this is actually cool, and then follow whatever they got going on.
Yeah.
So but yeah, they um all types of stuff. They have. I mean, man, those movies, the Funko Pops,
Yeah.
they have exclusives of everything. Like they come to T-shirts to just so many different things, paintings. Like these people and the vendors. A lot of times, the vendors are the ones who are making the things. So you even get you sit there, you talk to them about what made them decide that that this is what they wanted to do. When did they first fall in love with horror?
Yeah.
Like what was it? And the stories are interesting.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so that's that's a that's a passion of mine to go to those. I'm looking actually to go next year to Spooky Empire in Orlando.
That's another.
Um that's another one. They have it's similar to around this time too. So I'm looking forward to going to that one. And of course, every September, October, going down to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando at Universal Studios and going through all the houses and stuff like that. Like that's a pastime I've been doing forever too. So yeah.
Oh,
If it's scary, it's supposed to be scary or something like that. I'm there. You know what I mean? Like I want to be there.
that's
So, and I
dope.
actually we have I haven't started it yet, but I bought like all the equipment. We're actually gonna do like a ghost hunting show. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying, for
that's a
YouTube.
cool
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
really cool. And you mentioned that you had thought about talk about maybe doing like a independent horror movie, and now you're talking about also some creative content like a show
yeah,
based on ghost hunting.
right.
What's your role in that? Like, are you writing the script, coming up with the ideas and like the treatments? Do you want to be like in front of the camera as an actor also? Are you more behind the lens like a director? All of the above. Talk to us about you and your team and the kind of roles that you want to play in bringing video content to light.
Well, I know me and my guy Jeff Smith. He's like he's really been like behind the scenes guy who comes up with everything,
So
and like we can bounce ideas off of each other or whatever. But he would he's actually got a movie that is on IMDb right now, but it's just not done. You know what I'm saying? But it's saying like, yo, it just says it puts my name in there. It's starring me. I don't even know what I do yet. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah,
it's a horror movie because once again, this is really something we really want to do. Like even with the ghost show, like um from our perspective, like it'll be a raw show. Like if there's something really going on, like wherever we're at, it's really gonna go on, and we're really gonna talk about it. If it's not
yeah,
going on, then we're gonna say we were shamed for coming to this place.
yeah,
It's not like like trying to make something that's not real. You
Yeah.
know, like we really want to experience things like that. So with that one, I'll be in front and behind the
Yeah.
camera. But as far as the movie goes, right now the one that is in the forefront to be made, I'm just supposed to star in
Yeah.
it. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I can't look.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really exciting to see you on camera doing that, and
Yeah.
it's good to see people pursuing things that they love. You know, so
Yeah.
you got
Facts.
a big year coming.
Yeah.
We talked about Rillest in the Room, available on all DSPs. The
Yes.
album's done really well, made a lot of noise.
Yes.
I've been listening to it, and it's a dope album. But you got Rillest in the Room Part 2 coming out in August. I'm really excited to hear about that. You worked with Man Bites Dogs Records
Right.
for Part 1. Are they involved in Part 2?
Yeah. Yeah. We this one was a little bit more hands on.
Yeah,
As far as getting things done, but that's my guy, over there. So I'm a make sure that he gets his proper respect and and love out of us coming together to collaborate on
yeah,
this, because a lot of people was like, I've had people be like, yeah, so did what did he do, what is this? It's like, man, like, hey man, he did what he did,
yeah.
like he talked to people, he helped me talk to people, because a lot
Of
of
course.
people were like, it was a question of, yo, did you did you put your money up?
Yeah,
I put my money up,
yeah,
I bet on myself. His with him talking to certain people and making connections, but I always tell people, if you can put your money up,
yeah,
don't let anybody else take care of you, because that's when things get messy,
yeah,
and I don't like messy situations. I'd rather stack my money up and be like, okay, what can we do,
yeah,
and then from there we can do what we got to do, and it can be a beautiful thing. But when you start playing with other people's money, then it comes into audits and accountants and blah blah blah.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
rather be like, yo, I put $5 over
yeah.
here, make my $5 work. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So, but then I tell everybody that I'm like, because the first thing people think is, oh, they paid for everything for you. Like, no. If you
Yeah,
know me, you know that I don't want people to pay for anything for me. I'd rather do it all myself, and not to be
yeah,
greedy on some I did it all myself, but just to not cause the extra headaches that come with
yeah,
this was over here, this was over here. But what I will say is that he was great in telling, in defending me out when anybody might be like, if I don't get a rating somewhere he wants me to get, he's like, this is an album of the year material. So blah 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 blah. You should listen to this and hear what I hear. So he really defends me on that. And
that's good.
like I said, if I'm like, yo, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Can you contact blah blah? He'll get on it and get it done. So he's a good guy. You know what I mean? I got nothing but love for him. And
Yeah,
I told him, I said, look, man, at the end of the day, when things start moving more and more and more and more, like I'm around, man. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like I'm not one of those people who, like, things start popping and you split off. Like, nah, I got you.
yeah.
You held me down. I'm gonna hold
That's
you down. So
really good.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, I mean, this is not your first rodeo. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like, you've been doing music for a minute. You got an impressive
Yeah.
discography from before.
Appreciate it.
So right now you're on this wave of this new album, another one in the tuck that's dope, a
Yeah.
third one coming, later this year or early next year.
Yeah.
You're on this dope wave right now. But you got a long history of amazing albums and work that you've been putting in, but also learning the business, right?
Right.
So you
Right.
know how
Yeah.
to move and how to make it so that the music is working for you, and you know how to actually make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question. Maybe you could like share some game with artists coming up. Where are you finding the most profit in music, right? So like, you see like a new young artist coming out, They're dope. They're nice. They're nice with the lyrics and everything.
Hmm.
And they're about to
Hmm.
release, their first project or maybe their second project, but they're trying to figure out how to actually monetize it,
Mm.
right? As somebody that's more experienced than this, where do you find the actually um, being profitable in music?
Um, I would say the best way to go would be your merch.
Yeah.
Um, your merch game, having some dope merch that people are going to want to buy. Um, your vinyl. That vinyl, the vinyl sales are
Wow.
ridiculous. Like I know. You know, you would remember there was a time where vinyl wasn't
Yeah, yeah.
a big deal.
Like they
You know?
gave it life, right?
Yeah.
Because it was fading out because of first tapes, but
Yes.
then CDs were
Yes.
supposed to kill it, but the
Yeah.
DJs kept it. Hip hop kept it alive.
Hip hop kept it
That's
alive.
what
So
it kept, but now it's back, like
yeah,
hard.
yeah. It's up. Vinyl sales are up like 400%. So it's one of those things where it's like, yo, um, if you got some vinyl that somebody really wants, then you can, you know,
Move it.
you can move it. So
Mm.
vinyls, cassettes are back. Cassettes are back. Your cassettes will sell out quick because it's once again from a certain age that nostalgic
Yeah,
feeling. Everybody kind of grew up in CDs,
yeah,
so CDs were kind of,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But dope merch, physical things. People love the physical aspect, like something they can own. I remember being a kid and getting CDs or tapes or something and cracking the tape open and you smell the paper. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, this is authentic. This is you sit down and you read inside and
Read,
read
man.
who
You
produced
open up, look
what.
at the picture. You read who did
Yeah,
what.
who did what. The thank yous, all that was important. So
Yeah,
that's I think
the
people are
shout
finally.
outs. That's how
That's what
you
I'm saying.
learn.
You didn't even know the people they were shouting out, but it was just dope to sit there and read them and
The
be like, "Oh,
names were
that's so
dope. The
cool."
names were dope.
The
The people
names,
have
yeah,
cool
like
names.
everything was like oh man, he grew up with this person. You do this person, like so. That's why even now I started collecting vinyl again because it was like, yo, I wanted to I wanted to keep that feeling, because everything got digitized and it was just like there's nothing I can pull up your album cover and maybe your insert on the internet, but it's
Yeah,
not the same
nah.
as you know it's not the same as grabbing it, you know what I mean, and opening it, and you know what I mean, and stuff
Yeah,
like
oh
that.
yeah.
So that's what's important to me, the physical aspect. So I would tell somebody, hey, grab you, you know what I mean, get your music, get your merch together, get your physical copies together, and make sure it's something that people are gonna want because on the digital aspect, you're really not gonna get
Yeah,
anything out of it,
yeah,
So a lot of times that makes people feel like, well, what am I doing it for? You just release something digitally,
yeah.
and then you'll look into your whatever account, whether it's TuneCore or DistroKid or whatever, and be like,
Right.
I got
You
I got
might get a
negative
knickknack.
$4. Like, so yeah, so that's what I would tell somebody, and that's what I do tell people. I tell them all the time, like if somebody's like, "Yo, what should I do?" Nobody can say I hold game out on anybody.
Yeah,
Like I'm not one of those people. Like if I have a connection or if I have something that I learned, I'll put you onto it because that's important. That's
yeah.
how we keep this thing moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can't move if we're constantly just holding the information like this. Like, nah, you can't know it because I know it. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
that's
You
good.
know,
That's good.
so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love, thank you for sharing that. I love physical media. I think about especially this renaissance that's happening in hip hop right now. Like just a couple years ago, NFTs became popular, right? And they were
right.
like, yeah, that you could own this. It's like, like a 101. And I look at like these dope artists like yourself and artists that are coming out and they're doing these short batch, limited run vinyl, 300 vinyl, 150 vinyl, 150 cassettes, 50 cassettes. I'm like, those are the real NFTs right there. This
Yeah,
is a first edition Bless
yeah,
Picasso vinyl. Even if you do it again, that's going to be a second edition. This is it
right.
right here.
Yeah,
This is the artist right here.
yeah.
It is right. This is it.
This is it.
A lot of the artists, you know, of the real spitters, the real lyrical and musical geniuses, they're indie. They're putting it out themselves. Them and their team are coming together
Yeah. Yeah.
and releasing small batch. We're
Yeah.
truly in a renaissance right now. Get you some of that. You know what I'm saying? They're not
Right.
making more of those.
No, no, you're absolutely right, because the days of being worried about going to, a label, and it's like, nah, you could do it yourself, man.
Yeah,
It's made now for you to be able to do it yourself. So why go somewhere and put yourself in debt?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like really, why go somewhere and put yourself in debt? Go take your own bread
Mm-hmm.
and trust yourself. Because
Sure.
especially if you're taking your own money, you should move a little better with it so you can see a return of some
Yeah,
sort. But and later on, you can form partnerships with people where
yeah,
other things open up for you. Then you can maybe get a tour somewhere, and then open it up more. And now, once again, that's more merch sales, that's more record sales, that's more everything. But it's like doing it from the grassroots, the ground up, instead of just going somewhere and being like, like, oh, I know people still be like, man, such and such need to sign me. Man, sign
yeah,
yourself. Like, sign yourself, believe in yourself. You want somebody else to believe in you, but believe in yourself. And once you believe in yourself, you can open up the floodgates for everybody else to be like, yo, he's one of the ones,
yeah.
or
That's
she's one
good.
of the ones, whoever's one of the
Yeah,
ones. So I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to, you know, really putting your money where your mouth is,
that's
you
good.
know?
Yeah,
For real.
that's good, man. You know, we could hear it in your lyrics. We could hear it in the taste of artists that you reach out to and collaborate with, but also in the prowess of your pen. You love hip hop. You've
Yeah.
spent thousands of hours listening to probably some of the greatest MCs. Can you talk to us about how you fell in love with hip hop? You know, you're a hip hop historian, right?
Uh,
So the
yeah.
the impact of hip hop in your life, how that came about, and what it's done for you.
Oh man. Uh, I say like the first time I fell in love, like I really fell in love with hip hop. Like I remember being a kid, like a little dude, and it was there's a song called The Smurf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just an instrumental joint. And I remember hearing it, and this was back when they had like, it was like hip hop on like AM radio.
Yeah,
1350 WRAP 1350, right? And the song played, and I remember hearing it, and I told my mom in the car one time, I was like, "Oh, mom, I really love I love this song." And the like maybe a week later, my mom had taped the song, but then she like taped it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again on like a 60-minute tape.
yeah,
And I just sat there and I listened to it. And that's what really hit me. And then it was like, you're young and you hear like Run DMC. And you're like, oh, these guys are cool. And then it's NWA and it's this and it's that. And it's so much hitting you at once. You got to think about, you know, it's like you start going back to stuff that was before your time,
yeah,
like and listening to like Grandmaster Caz and you know what I mean, and Melly Mel and the Furious Five. You're like, yo, what is
yeah.
this? And you start, and it's just, I don't know, it hit my heart so heavy that it was like, yo, this is what I want to do. So I knew I wanted to do this
Wow,
since I was like, I don't know, 6. Like I
wow.
knew this is really what I wanted to do. And so during my childhood up, my mother always, she was like, hey, Christmas, you'll get equipment. You want to be a DJ? Because I first started off being a
Yeah,
DJ. So I DJ parties, school parties, friends parties, and stuff like that. So my mom used to, before she had quit doing it, she used to run parties too.
yeah.
But she like have actual events, not even really parties. Like she would bring artists down and have them perform and whatnot.
Wow.
So she already had like equipment like set to the side. So she gave me that equipment, and then she bought me new equipment, turntables and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I'd be in my room practicing all the
Wow.
time. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like learning how to scratch and do all types of stuff. So excuse me. But yeah, so it was like that was the so since then, like that was like the biggest influence. And then it's like, you know, then you do the graffiti, you know, you spray, you give it your friends, y'all start doing graffiti on joints like you trying to do, then you do the little break dancing, and it's like every element of hip hop is like, you know, to really say this is really what you do, you really gotta really be
Yeah,
part of it. You
be
feel me?
all, yeah, be all
All
in.
yeah, yeah, all in, man. It's like all in. You can't be like, well, I do this part. Nah, man, you gotta do it all. You know what I mean? You gotta really to really be a part of this. So anything, so like I said, from that when she got me that and I started doing that, then it was automatically now you got the mic, and really what it was a dare program. I don't know if you remember the dare
Yeah,
programs from back in the day, right? So they had the officers come in and, you know, don't do drugs,
yeah,
blah blah blah, right?
yeah. I remember those.
Yeah, so they had to, you know, they were like, yo, y'all have to do something for the dare program. So I was like, you know,
That's cool.
um, yeah, so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. I'm like, yo, that day of, we forgot all about um what we were supposed to do. And I was like, yo, we're just gonna rap. We're just rap. So what I did was, once again, to go back to my cousin Van, he had a rap he had wrote about not, you know, selling drugs, doing drugs and stuff. I memorized it. So I just stole this rap. So it's like in the classroom, I'm doing the rap or whatever, and they're like, "Yo, y'all got to do this on stage." So we did it on stage,
Like a
and the
talent show.
reception was it was a yeah, but it was like the Dare Trap talent show. So you had people who read poems, you had people who danced, you had people. So I was like, "Yo, we're gonna rap." I got people together. I'm like, "Yo, you're gonna be the dancers. Me and such are gonna rap. We're gonna get on stage, blah blah blah." And we blew the doors off the hinges. And from then, it's been like, okay, this is really what I know I gotta do.
Wow.
So that was the second time I got bit, and ever since then, it's just been on and popping. And it
Wow.
leads us to the realest. You know what I mean?
That's dope, man.
Yeah, appreciate
You know,
it.
this is always a hard question because, you know, there's so many talented artists. Are there one or two or three MCs, one or two or three albums that had a significant impact on you as a creative?
Um, yeah, I would say uh Illmatic,
Classic.
Illmatic, um Granddaddy IU, Smooth Assassin,
Nah, that's good.
and
Rest in peace,
rest
Granddaddy IU.
rest in peace. And me and him had some conversations, and he told me back in the MySpace era was like, yo, you got it. Like whenever you want to work, let's work. And me being a procrastinator at times, and my man Biggs, he was just in here, but when he one time, real quick, we saw him in New York walking down the street.
Granddaddy
We walked right
IU.
by him. Yes, he
Wow.
was headed somewhere. We saw him in New York, and my man Biggs was like, "Hold up, ain't that the dude you told me about?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Go back and get a picture." I'm like, "Nah, man, that man's on a mission." And I said, "I'll run into him again." And then, you know, years later, of course, he passed away.
Yeah.
So that was another thing to let me know. All right, man, when the time is there, you need to make the move. Don't, you
The
know,
clock is on.
the clock is on. And
And
I say the third one is uh Kool G Rap and DJ Polo, Wanted Dead or Alive.
oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
that's
those are
good.
the three.
Classic albums.
Yeah,
You got to work with Kool G Rap
yeah,
on Rillest in the Room.
yeah.
So that was a dream come true.
It was, it was. I mean, because he's really the one who really. Once I heard that album, well, I mean, I already had because once again, my mother was like, "Yo, you know, you couldn't listen to the explicit content. So anytime I got something, she would listen to it before. And if, you know, if it had something up there, she's just pulling the tape out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nope, you don't get it. So when I got Road to the Riches, I was like, hey, this was cool. So from there, I was like, hey, this guy right here, I just listened to him a lot. I listened
Yeah.
to it a lot. And so by the time the second one came out, I could listen to whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, that's mad time later. So it was like, okay, this, yo, he's nice. He's nicer than this person. He's nicer
Yeah.
than this. He's like,
You
you
start
know,
to realize what he's doing, the intricacies
right,
of what he's doing
right.
in the word patterns, the
Yes,
way he's
Yes.
multisyllabic.
Yes. So it was one of those, and it's like, you know, of course, you know, if I have to, if I can do another, if I could do it, if I could say somebody else, of course I would say Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Like
were
I don't
so
think
good together,
people,
man. Eric B and
I
Rakim
don't
were
think
so good together.
right, I don't think people still understand Follow the Leader as a song. Like listening to the song now, it sounds like I couldn't imagine in '88 hearing the
Yeah.
song and
Yeah.
like now, like it still sounds so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just certain albums that you sit down and you digest and you're like, yo, these are crazy, and you know, and that's just those are the classics only. You know, like
Yeah.
I could go on for days about stuff that I listen
Yeah.
to that I just, you know, I respect.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, there's my playlist and collections is crazy, but there's certain albums that like, Eric B and Rakim changed hip hop.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it was a
facts.
certain way, and then there was Rakim, and it changed.
Overnight.
Yeah,
Overnight.
yeah,
Yeah. You
changed.
had to, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Just like with Nas. Nas changed
He
the
changed it.
landscape. You were
Changed it.
rapping a certain way. He came in, it changed everything all over again. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah, my bro. Realist in the Room, new album out,
yeah.
dope album,
Appreciate
available on all DSPs.
Yes,
Realist in
sir.
the Room 2, dropping late August.
Yep.
You heard from the
Yep.
artist himself. He's very proud of part 2. Part
Yeah.
2, you're talking about vulnerabilities. You're talking about things you haven't talked about in prior projects.
Yeah.
And you shared with us early in the interview that there was a window of time where you were going through some things in life, and that a lot of that comes out in Realist in the Room 2,
Yeah.
where you actually put your pen down and express yourself. I think that consumers, artists, fans really connect with artists when they're vulnerable. And it's hard for an artist because you're like telling your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of putting
Yeah.
a piece of
Yeah.
you out there.
Yeah.
That's how people connect because everybody goes through similar things.
Facts.
It's different. It's their own thing, but there's that overlap that makes them feel close to the artist. So
Right. So you're not like, because if not, you become robotic.
yeah,
So it's
good.
in a certain to a certain extent, like it just can't always be the good life. There
Yeah,
has to be a point in time where you actually show people truly who you are and what you've been through, and those bring, that brings more people in. It's sort of like, the perfect example for later in the game was when Conway did the cow.
mm,
Like when he did that verse on the cow, like it made everybody be like, hold up. Like he's showing a side of himself that, because he's the
yeah,
machine, you know what I mean? He's the machine. So people always look at him like, oh yeah, he's da da da. But him showing that, yo, man, I was hurt by, getting shot. That wasn't cool, you know what I mean? And the aftermath of that, and feeling like, yo, like look at my face. Why it had to happen to me? There's people who've been through
yeah,
things similar, or have family members that have been through things similar, and they're like, yo, like I feel that, and it brings more people to you.
yeah,
So, like I said, for me, it was like, yo, going through that, when I'm ready, I want to tell people somewhat of how I'm feeling as an individual.
yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna get me still living my life or whatever, but at this point in time in my life, this happened, and it was like, yo, how do you get through it?
yeah,
And once I got through it, it was like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's put it on the music. So anybody else who's going through something could be like, okay, I agree with it. And that's why, like I said, I wanted to start the album off letting you know, like, hey man, this is gonna be a bumpy ride at times. But if you're with me, then you're with me. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So
That's good, my
yeah,
bro. I'm
yeah,
excited about that album. As we
appreciate it.
start to wrap,
Yeah.
um, if somebody were to go on to the digital streaming platform like Spotify, what's
Hmm.
cool about those services is that you can see other things that you've been on, and you've been featured on many other albums, many other projects.
Right.
You've worked with a lot of artists. As we wrap up, if an artist wanted to reach out to you and talk about purchasing a verse or connecting with you, or if a producer wants to send you some production, what's the right way for people to contact with you? What platforms are the right platforms, or email? How do people who want to work with Blessed Picasso reach out to Blessed Picasso to conduct business?
Well, I have BPE features and bookings in my bio. Nobody goes to that. They always just hit the DM.
Yeah,
So I guess, for now, just, continue to hit the DM, and, and we could chop it up from there. I mean, that's really where everybody goes, to the DM, and they're like, yo, I got this, I got that. So, I've only had one person actually go the proper channel, you
they can
know.
bypass
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they bypass. They just go to the DM. Yo, what's good? What can we do? So I say that's the best way. Just hit the DM, and I'll get with you. I don't ignore people. Sometimes I don't see things if we're not following each other in the request. I won't go to that
Yeah,
often. But if I do see it, I'll respond to you. Ain't no problem.
that's dope.
We'll figure it out from there. Yeah.
That's dope, my
Yeah.
bro. Realist in the Room, incredible album. Realist in the Room Part 2 dropping August 23rd.
Yeah.
I commend you, my bro. Incredible work.
I
And
appreciate that.
thank you for sharing so much of your creativity in this interview, and, for putting it out there, for what you're doing for hip hop, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate, you sitting down and talking to me, man. It's good to be heard sometimes, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely, my bro. I'll build with you soon. I look forward to connecting with you when that new album drops. I'm going to reach out.
Already, you already know. Yep,
All
you
right,
already
my
know.
brother.
All right,
Peace.
peace.